How much and how many resources does the average person consume in our industrialized world? Is there any other living thing that even comes close to us? How is this affecting the future of the world? This is what we'll be talking about as we estimate the effect the industrialized world's consumption of resources has on the Earth relative to other life forms. This is going to involve some math, of course, but I tried to cut out all the boring parts and keep it interesting. I recommend following along, but if it's really so boring you're ready to leave, click the link in the description first to skip to the end so you can at least get an overview of what we talked about. Currently, there are over 7 billion people on the planet. We'll round down to 7 billion so we can be sure it's an underestimate, and we'll do the same for all our hard data. In 2013, the average life expectancy of a person was 71 years. We'll use 70. We'll just use one person's life to start with to see how much stuff they use on their own, and then we'll compare it to the next most resource demanding animals. Let's use calorie consumption or energy intake as our starter because all animals universally eat to survive. The world average caloric intake for a single person in one day is over 2,000 calories. Fewer in the early stages of life, of course. Calculating that in, the number of calories an average person will eat over their entire lifetime is over 44 million. That's just what one person is eating though. We use far more energy than just to maintain our own biological processes. The world burns 85 million barrels of oil a day. There are 1.4 million calories of energy in a single barrel. So we can multiply these together. We get 119 trillion calories that we burn each day just in oil. We can divide that by 7 billion people to get the average amount that one of us uses, or 17,000 calories a day, or 434 million calories burned in oil for one person over their lifetime. But that's just for oil. We also have coal, natural gas, biofuels, and electricity. In 2012, the world used 93,000 terawatts from just these energy sources. All energy can be converted to any other unit, so converting terawatts into calories, we get 134 quadrillion calories for everybody over the year, or 19 million for one person in a year, or 1.3 billion calories for one person over their lifetime from just these energy sources. Now we have a fairly accurate calculation for the number of calories any one of us consumes over our lifetime. Adding the three numbers we calculated from the food, the oil, and the other energy sources, we come up with about 1.8 billion calories just for one of us over our entire life. So you can see how what we eat is almost negligible to our total caloric impact. Now let's look at animals. The largest animal on the planet, the blue whale, can eat upwards of 8,000 pounds of krill in one day during the 3 to 4 months during the summer. They then begin their migration, catching a few snacks along the way, but eating almost nothing for a minimum of about 4 months. Converting pounds to grams and then to krill's caloric value, we get about 3.5 million calories in one day, or roughly 500 million calories in a yearly cycle. A blue whale lives 80 to 90 years, so that's about 42 billion calories over their lifetime. We're not looking quite so bad now, are we? Hold that sentiment by the throat. The population of humanity is about 7 billion, whereas blue whales are sitting at about 12,000. They had a population of about 350,000, but due to our hunting in the 1900s, their only predator, we quickly consumed their population to its current meager state. Their entire species eats about 500 trillion calories in a year. Just the population of Barbados, a country most people haven't heard of, consumes as much as their entire population. So what about the most abundant mid-sized animal then? How does their total population's consumption compare to our own? Let's use cattle because they have more total biomass than humans and about a fifth of our population, so as worthy consumers as any to compare. Their total biomass is over 1 trillion pounds, and cows require on average about 2 to 2.5% of their total body weight in dry food content daily just to maintain their weight. So about 26 billion pounds of food for the total population each day. There are about 1,000 calories in a pound of dried grasses such as hay, varying depending on quality and type. So the total population of cattle eat about 26 trillion calories each day. Convert days to years and divide by the population, and you get about 6.8 million calories a year for one cow. With an average lifespan of about 15 years, that's about 95 million calories ingested by one cow over its lifespan. To truly compare them with us though, we need their total population's caloric intake compared to our total population's caloric intake and over the same time period. So we just multiply the 95 million calories for a single cow by the total population of 1.4 billion and we get 133 quadrillion calories for the total population, with each of them living an average life of 15 years. As you'll remember, we had 44 million calories per person just from food. If we multiply that by the total population of 7 billion, we get 308 quadrillion calories for our lifespan, or 66 quadrillion calories for the same lifespan as a cow. So even with their much larger total biomass, we're still eating nearly half of what they do. And counting for total energy usage, we blow everything out of the water by a very long shot. This is still only part of the story though. Yes, we consume far more than any other living thing in energy, but we don't just burn fuel and eat to survive. We build huge elaborate homes, lay millions of miles of paved road. We use metals and materials that no other life form has required in the history of Earthlings. We mine the earth and expose and distribute massive amounts of rare elements and compounds. Then we refine and vent the fumes and toxic waste straight into the atmosphere. We live the most luxurious lives we can possibly make for ourselves, and we never stop to wonder or care about what we're doing to the numbers and environments of so many other species. The Earth can't go on like this. We are continually fracturing the foundation of our future, the future of humanity, the future of all life on Earth. Yes, we are special, but we have squandered our capacity for thought and reason on our own selfish enjoyment. This is the reality of our civilization. Will we ignore it and blind ourselves so we can continue to live in ignorant bliss? Or will we accept the future that is moving toward us like a freight train and do everything that each one of us can to prevent it and soften the impact? Overpopulation is playing a huge role. Will we continue to have children for our own feelings of satisfaction and fulfillment while simultaneously pushing out the less capable of our earthling cousins? The Earth has only so much room, and its resources are capable of renewing only so quickly. Will we continue to take far more than our fair share? Or will we, the most intelligent of our diverse family, step it up and be better? Step it up and make the future better. We created this mess, and only we can fix it. I hope you will stand with me and join this fight for our future, because you are far more valuable than you realize. If you want to supercharge your motivation and focus it toward what really matters, you might enjoy my video, The Importance of Living for the Future. If you want to maximize the potential your mind has, you might enjoy my video on Refueling Your Curiosity. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you want to support me further, your subscription would be huge in encouraging me to continue making more videos.